In this video, we have to talk about three things. One, something the Canadian government is doing that's ridiculous regarding crypto. Two, we're going to talk about the US government regarding crypto. And then at the end of the video, we'll talk about my thoughts on where crypto is heading. This video is brought to you by the programs on Building Your Wealth, linked down below, with a coupon code expiring tonight. And the price will be going up. Well, folks, the case for moving your crypto to private wallets continues to get made by governments and exchanges almost every single day. And it's getting even more ugly. Take a look at this. Apparently, a letter or email that a Coinbase customer received here, based on this particular tweet here. I've not been able to verify this email, but what it is it says that starting April 4th, Coinbase will introduce some changes required by Canadian regulations. Keep in mind, this is something that Justin Trudeau alluded to, that they would be cracking down on cryptocurrency transactions more so. And specifically, they say here, when you send crypto to another financial entity or money services business such as another crypto exchange, the transaction is more than 1,000 CAD, Canadian dollars, we're legally required to ask you for information about the recipient of the transaction, their name and address. Now, so far it seems like this is just limited to financial entities, exchanges, bank style, non-banks, basically. But what concerns me here is, wait a minute, this seems like a step in the direction of, hey, every time you send money now, we want you to identify to whom you're sending the money. It seems like it's a step in every time you send money to even other people privately, to other people in other countries, to family members, to whatever. We're going to start putting the onus, apparently, or governments will, I shouldn't say we, I don't want to be lumped in with government. Governments are going to start putting the onus on individuals to expose the other person's information. This is an ugly direction, and in my opinion, this is an ugly style rule. I mean, just to show you that our government is freaking out over the idea even of cryptocurrencies, take a look at this bill that was introduced by the Senate. It's called the Accountability for Cryptocurrency in El Salvador Act. And basically what they're saying is they want the United States federal departments and government to do a complete audit of everything that El Salvador is doing with their cryptocurrency. Are they actually effectively mitigating financial integrity risks or cybersecurity risks? What's the impact on people and unbanked populations? Is El Salvador even a stable economy now because they're using cryptocurrency? They got the same kind of crap, by the way, from the International Monetary Fund. They were looking to get financing from the IMF, and the IMF said, yeah, no, you know what? We're now denying your application because y'all are using crypto. I'll tell you, central governments, they're afraid. They are afraid. I'm just worried about what we just saw in Canada. It's going to get taken a step too far, and we're going to end up seeing more of this ridiculousness in the crypto space. Okay, folks, now let's do a little bit of TA. So you might already know, but I'm all in on Cardano. I've got a basis of about 94 cents in Cardano. I've got about $800,000 into Cardano right now. It's sitting at about $1.10 right now, but I like watching BTC as well as sort of a broader market indicator, and I want to see where some of these levels are. So first of all, we're just now finally above the 23.6% retracement, trying to get back up to some of those high levels again, but we're really seeing struggle getting risk assets above the 38 Fibonacci line, and this is my opinion why we're seeing somewhat of a rejection before we even we're getting this front running before we even get past 45,000, because the 38.2 retracement is sitting at about 46,821 here. And so we can't even make it there. Now, I know that I've got a lot of lines drawn on here because, quite frankly, we spend a lot of time in channels like this. But right now, in my opinion, this is really the area that we're running. I do think next stop, we've got to get above 45.7, and then we got to sit on this 38.2 Fibonacci. If we get rejected off of this 38.2 right here, we might end up coming back down to that 48 region, and we could spend some time bouncing around in here until we see uncertainties resolve themselves around inflation, Ukraine, the potential for a Federal Reserve rug pull. I would expect that we're going to be a little bit range bound within this region right here, anywhere between the range of 42 to 46.8. I don't necessarily think we're going to go back to some of these lows that we've seen over here, like the 37 levels, but I do think we're going to be range bound in here for the time being, at least until some uncertainties remove themselves. I do think that larger fears are gone, and that actually makes staking opportunities now more desirable to me. So potentially staking my Cardano or Ethereum or whatever now and locking that up, than here, when we were more worried about the potential collapse of economies via a larger recession. I think those fears have substantially subsided, though we still have fears of recession, certainly because of elevated inflation. But once we start clearing some of the bad news and we don't get any more good news, or I'm sorry, any more bad news, right, to add to this, I do believe we're going to get into this trading range again where we trade between 38.2 and 61.8, and only once war goes away do I think that we'll be able to get back towards the direction of all-time highs, probably trading somewhere between 61.8 and 78.6. That would be a range of between 55K and 61K. I do think for us to get to all-time highs, we're going to have to see inflation go down and war go away. So I don't see $70,000 plus on BTC probably until at least the end of the year, unless, of course, inflation starts going in the direction that we think it will, which is eventually down, or at least the way that we hope it will, because right now it's just going up, especially food and commodities, oil, you name it. And then, of course, we'll have these broader war-related uncertainties that will keep Bitcoin compressed for the time being.